Goaltender tunes for the Nashville Predators. Premium Edmonton Oilers. Always. Starting goaltenders brought to you as always by Tim Hortons Premium Blend Coffee. It's always 20 minutes fresh. 6 of Nikolai Happy Bulin's 9 wins have come here at Rexall, including October 17th when he faced just 12 shots in beating the Predators. At the other end, 23-year-old Anders Lindback came on in relief of Pecorine last Tuesday in the loss to the Oilers. It's just his second start of the year for the 6'6".
Seeksliders.com is
only other start
did I click that link?
against the Los Angeles Kings way back on November the 8th. The Oilers back home. After a 4-game road trip, this is the start of a 6-game homestand for them.
Seeksliders at 0 minutes 11 seconds of 0 minutes 15 seconds, 0 minutes 12 seconds of 0 minutes 13 seconds, 0 minutes 14 seconds of 0 minutes.
The opportunity to play on the line
0 minutes 0
with May.20 and Sean Horcov, and an opportunity that includes starting this hockey game. Here
we go. Game 2. Here at Salt Lake. The Flyers up to the Cubs.
Take a look at the lineups. Destination. And their efficiency goes just one. Gilbert able to keep it in. Also played Saturday. Lost 5-2 in that game in Colorado. Saw Taylor Hall injured and out of the lineup. Alashevsky with a bunt down. A quick pass to Horcov. Horcov off the boards looking for Magnus Biardi. Biardi chips it in. And both teams want to make changes. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jordan Eberle, and Ryan Smith out there now. Colton Schubert and Theo Peckham on the blue line. Happy Bulin handles it, sends it around the boards. Weber trying to keep it in, and he will backhand it in. He and Ryan Suter are back together. In the warm-up, Louis, they're apart. Doesn't take long to go back. It's 20-6 all the way.
We saw a little shuffling in the last matchup between these two teams as well for Barry Trotz, trying to separate them, get some depth in the decors for them. Francois Bouillon out with a growing strain again. So they've been depleted there and have a couple of youngsters back there for Edmonton. They need to challenge and try and get on them early. Pucks deep, establish that forecheck.
Theo Peckham shot goes off Mike Fisher, and it comes to Ryan Suter. He'll play it around the boards, and the Predators able to get it out. This is their 6th game against the Northwest Division. They are 1-4. Their only victory came October the 22nd. That game was in Calgary. The start is the middle for them, basically, of a 5-game road trip. This is game 3. They will be in Calgary tomorrow night. Sam Gagner is the middle for them. Sam Gagner on the crest of a 3-game point streak. Long pass intended for Jones. He had a goal and an assist in Colorado. Eric Belanger across the line. Belanger dishes for Gagner. Sam Gagner takes a bump there from Blum. The puck comes free. Jones going after it. Trying to keep it in. It does. Gets it to Gagner. Gagner to Belanger. Belanger trying to return the favor. And Roman Josi playing in just his 2nd National Hockey League game. Gave him a little tug and remaining.
Sam Gagner, the reason why Josi wasn't called, kept his feet moving on the play.
Ladislav Schmid, that goal scorer. Over to Gilbert with a shot that goes wide off the backboard. Hordichuk and Lander, the 4th line out there now. Here's Darcy Hordichuk. Josi gives him a bump. Look at Ladislav Schmid joining the play. Lander plays it behind the net. Here's Hordichuk, gets by him. Cottrell right on it to Hordichuk. He's got Lander out in front. Darcy Hordichuk trying to beat him the puck. Couldn't do it. But a good shift for the 4th line. And offside, it's the call at the Nashville blue line. Give us an opportunity to take a look at the keys to the game. They're brought to you by Ford.
Well, for the Nashville Predators, losers of 4, they have to get back to their identity. It was Ryan Suter who spoke up and said, we play fast, hard, aggressive hockey for the 7 years that he's been there. And they've gotten a little bit away from that. They have to get back to that identity if they want to be successful. So the Edmonton Oilers jump early. You've seen it already. Pucks deep, establishing a forecheck. Last Tuesday in Nashville, they did just that and got out to the...
Hordichuk scores!
Nashville blue line, give us an opportunity.
It was 1-0 Predators. The Predators strike first.
in game 2. Take a look at.
Well, for the Nashville Predators, losers of 4, they have to get back to their identity. It was Ryan Suter who spoke up and said, we play fast, hard, aggressive hockey for the 7 years that he's been there. And they've gotten a little bit away from that. They have to get back to that identity if they want to be successful. If the Edmonton Oilers jump early, you've seen it already. Pucks deep, establishing a forecheck. Back to their identity. Well, for the Nashville Predators, losers of 4, they have to get back to their identity. It was Ryan Suter who spoke up and said, we play fast, hard, aggressive hockey for the 7 years that he... Well, for the Nashville Predators, losers of 4, they have to get back to their identity. It was Ryan Suter who spoke up and said, we play fast, hard, aggressive hockey for the 7 years that he's been there. And they've gotten a little bit away from that. They have to get back to that identity if they want to be successful. If the Edmonton Oilers jump early, you've seen it already. Pittsburgh got with that pass, aggressive hockey for the shooting lane to the net quickly, and they take it early, 1-0 lead. The power play has that identity. If they last Tuesday in Nashville, they did just that and got it to the 3-0 lead and didn't look back.
Arena out of the contest, and there's an opportunity right in front for Iraq. He was stopped by Javi Bullen, and here's PRV. PRV down the right side, trying to get by Jack Dillon, plays it behind the net, looking for deep. Popped up by him, but Alex Hemsky will get to it. Alex Hemsky takes a bump from Legwand, and the Predators able to get it out, but Hemsky returns the favor, and he knocked Legwand down. Another hit, stopped by Theo Peckham. Martin Iraq. Iraq with 5 goals on the season. Magnus Bjarvi looking for his first crisscross. Shot from that one goes wide. Ostitsin. He's moving in with Hornquist. Hornquist behind the net. Lays it back to Sergei Kostitsin. Return feed gets by him, and there's Ryan Whitney. He is pinned by Hornquist, getting a little help from Smith as that puck stays alive in the corner. And now it comes out to Everly. Quick pass to Jeff Petrie. Petrie across the blue line. His centering feed is cut off there by Shea Weber, who will play it off the glass. And that puck goes out of play.
Well, a quick pace early on, which would be expected here with for the Nashville Predators. They're a quick team that like to try and counterattack, clog things up in the neutral zone, and they do establish that forecheck when they do have the opportunity. For Edmonton, they're going to have to do the same thing as well, and I think the team that can kind of dictate that early on will be the team that gets the better chances. There's a quick chance out front for Erad as the puck came right out to him on that forecheck, and look why Javi Bullen has to make a quick early save.
Erad with 6 points in his last 6 games. Gilbert to Jones off the boards. Shift for the fourth line. Saved by McGuire. Outside, it's the call at the Nashville Blue Line. Gives an opportunity to take a look at the keys to the game. As they're brought to 2 minutes gone in the first period.
Well, for the Nashville Predators, losers of 4, they have to get back to their identity. It was Ryan Suter who spoke up and said, the Pittsburgh Penguins fast, hard, aggressive hockey for the 7 years that he's been there. And get it back a little bit away from that. They have to get back to that identity if they want to be successful. If the Oilers jump early, you've seen it already. He's establishing a forecheck the 7 years that he's been there. And they've gotten a little bit.
With a shot, deflected, scores! Martin Erad! And the Predators in their 2-0 lead in game 2 at the Nashville Blue.
Well, for the Nashville Predators, losers of 4, they have to get back to their identity. It was Ryan Suter who spoke up and said, we play fast, hard, aggressive hockey for the 7 years that he's been there. But it doesn't right here. Away from that. They have to get back to that identity if they want to be successful. The Oilers jump early. You've seen it already. Terrific recovery by Pittsburgh after that pass. They get it back to the shooting lane, to the net quickly, and they take it early 1-0 lead. The power play has been red hot at over 50% last Tuesday in Nashville. They did just that and got it to the 3-0 lead and didn't look back.
And took Arena out of the contest, and there's an opportunity right on the front for Iraq. He was stopped by Javi Bullen, and here's PRV. PRV down the right side, trying to get by Jack Dillon. Plays it behind the net, looking for Horcov. Up by him, but Alex Hemsky will get to it. Alex Hemsky takes a bump from Legwand. And the Predators able to get it out, but Hemsky returns the favor, and he knocked Legwand down. Another hit, stopped by Theo Peckham. Martin Iraq. Iraq with 5 goals on the season. Magnus Bjarvi looking for his first crisscross. Shot from that one goes wide. Ostitsin. He's moving in with Hornquist. Hornquist behind the net. Better push.
11 minutes left.
57 game. You know he's going to have a little extra. Job moving in with number 5, lets a shot go instead. He's doing the save. The rebound is picked up there by Theo Peckham. Theo Peckham. Leonard Petrell. Well backhanded down the ice. And Kevin Klein will go back to get it. The Predators with 2 shots. The Oilers looking for their Nashville outshot 25-8 in the first period. That loss to the Red Wings on Saturday.
It is 6-5, game 1.
Hemsky, 3 points in his last 3 games. Hiller. Pass intended for Iraq. Cut off. BRB to Horcov. And a return feed went off the skate of Hiller. Miroslav Schmid on the near side. Schmid. Check. There by Hornqvist.
Horcov. Kind of tangled up a little bit there. I think just a little too close and almost created a chance.
Hetsky. And offside is the call as Ryan Smith was Blake Jeffrey on the lineup for 4 games. It skates. You need a little repair.
Go ahead. Point. 2-0 Predators.
This is once again team
You need a little repair.
2011-12. This is Oil Country Team Calendar.
Husky board short.
On sale for $5.99 at all Rexall family of pharmacy locations across Oil Country, with proceeds benefiting local charitable organizations through Rexall Foundation. Now, the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation as well, and of course, the NHLPA Goals and Dreams Fund.
13:39 to go here in the first period. The Oilers still looking for their first shot on goal. Predators have just 2. So both goalies.
Predators lead.
2 videos.
Still to get more. Horcov, a long shot, and that gets deflected by Whitney's stick up into the net.
56.
Well, we talked about Patrick Hornqvist in the opening, and for him, 30 goals 2 years ago, backed it up with 21 last year and 48 points. And he's been on a real hot, cold season this year. Started off with 0 points in the first 7, then went 11 points in the middle 7, and the last 7 pointless once again. So the Nashville Predators hoping that he'll break out of that and find that scoring touch once again, because he is that type of a player that's streaky. He's hot. He's really hot.
Replay keyboard short.
Still to get more. Horcovist, a long shot gets deflected by Whitney's stick up into the net.
We talked about Patrick Hornqvist in the opening, and Chris looks down from the blue line. You'll notice hits the puck down low. Too hard to right there. The stick gets in a little deep of the towel. It doesn't result in the opening. And for him, 30 goals 2 years ago, backed it up with 21 last year and 48 points. He's been on 7 and won 11 points in the
A long shot that gets deflected by Whitney's stick up into the netting.
And this is one of the areas for Ryan Smith coming back to Edmonton. He excels at. Everybody knows how efficient he is. Relentless in front of the net on the power play and 5-on-5. That's where he's been a star, is being in front of the net, creating a distraction to Thomas Holmstrom with maybe a little more skill, Ryan Smith, but he's made his whole career from going to those tough areas and 48 points. He's been on a real hot, cold season this year. This is something you saw to start off with. 11 points in the middle 7, the last 7 pointless points. He is that type of a player that shoots goalies.
Husky board short. Okay, buddy.
Still to get more. Horcovist, a long shot in that. Deflected by Whitney's stick.
This cheer of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' skill and why he was chosen first overall. Hornqvist in the opening. In last year, 30 goals 2 years ago, backed it up with 21 last year.
First one, little give and go down low.
He's been on a real hot, cold season this year.
Across the pass here to Taylor Hall. This is the chance before. But then afterwards, they go to work down low. Real nice passing play to get across the
30 goals 2 years ago, back middle 7, the last 7 pointless.
With Smith. Backhanded in. That puck is rolling towards Lindback. Cleared away by Weber, but right to Nugent-Hopkins. Hopkins spins. Nice move to get away from Fisher. Everly behind the net. Walks out in front. Takes a shot. Consider net. He goes upstairs and scores. Jordan. A bit. Hopkins spins. Nice move to get away from Fisher. Everly behind the net. Walks out in. Hopkins spins. Nice move to get away from Fisher. Everly behind the net. Walks out in front. Takes a shot. Consider net. He goes up. To Nugent-Hopkins. Hopkins spins. Nice move to get away from Fisher. With Smith. Backhanded in. That puck is rolling towards Lindback. Cleared away by Weber, but right to Nugent-Hopkins. Hopkins spins. Nice move to get away from Fisher. Everly behind the net. Walks out in front. Takes a shot. Hits her net. lost his stick, but Gagne is going to touch it, but that puck was gloved ahead by Belanger. Well, our next score and win winner, courtesy of Safeway and Margaret, you've won the treasure of Sherwood Park, who has won the Lagostina 9-piece cookware set. Thanks to the second effort goal. That is Margaret Holmes. Margaret, you've won the Husqvarna lawnmower. Congratulations on the second effort goal by Jordan Eberle.
A little discussion on the bench with Tom Remy, and it's one of those things that they do. They interact a lot and break down a lot of their shifts, and constant feedback from the coaching staff of Edmonton, trying to keep guys accountable for Jordan Eberle. I think that Tom Remy is giving him a couple insights to make him an even better player, but he's been playing pretty red hot for the Oilers as of late.
Now the Oilers have been hot in the first period against this Nashville team. They scored 3 goals in the first the last time they met. Gilbert keeps it in and gets by Horcov. Having the lead as well, and it was Tom Remy to roll out their lines, and that fourth game has been carrying its own weight. Here, check with a hit on Jack Kelly. Horcov comes back into the zone and picks it up. Now he'll feed Ales Hemsky. Hemsky with PRB. Hemsky getting watched there by Weber. Gives him a bump. And a penalty on the way. And Shea Weber's going to head to the box. So the Oilers are going to get the power play as they try and keep this momentum going.
6'4", 234-pound Shea Weber, and a little frustration setting in here. A little stand-up by Ales Hemsky. Doesn't expect the hit coming. Almost knocks Weber down, but when he comes back through, you can see the glove come right up into the face of Ales Hemsky. So a little message being sent by him, and that's what makes Shea Weber such a valuable defenseman, as he can play that physical brand. He anticipates, and he has that cannon from the blue line. Just gets a little too aggressive there on the Oilers. Hemsky, and will head to the box for 2.
The Oilers 3 for 9 against Nashville in the season series. Go to work for the first time tonight. The number 1 power play at home. 13 of their 20 goals have come right here at Rexall.
All that's on the NHL 09/1 for Washington Capitals. www.2.com.
Who tries to get it to him, and instead it's Mr. Spaulding will send it down the ice. Nashville, the 12th best penalty killers. They are 8th best on the road. Gilbert, Nugent Hopkins to Jordan Eberle. Eberle drops it back. Gilbert waits over to keep it in. Now it's picked up by Suter, and he will fire it the length of the ice. The Oilers with just one shot. That shot by Jordan Eberle found the back of the net.
And we heard that. Let's go Oilers chant.
Coming back down into Oilers territory. The Oilers were making changes years ago. Gilbert knocks it off right in front of the bench, and they went down the ice.
A little mix-up there in the bench, and the line changes as players are trying to shuffle and get on. So a good job by Eberle not to play that puck, as it would have been too many men on the ice. Lets it go by, takes the icing, and a little confusion for Edmonton. And that's one of the things, the penalty kill of Nashville, very disciplined, very positional for Edmonton. They're going to have to get their bodies moving to find those open lanes and spaces left behind. The tight penalty kill at the Husband.
Minutes left to go, and penalty to Rose.
To deep in the series lead. What shoot?
Gets by him. Jones leaves it back to Whitney at the point. Hemsky looking for Belanger. It was tipped away by Fisher and down the ice. Belanger, Whitney, Hemsky, Gagne, and Jones. Second unit power play for the Oilers as here comes Gagne. Offside is Ales Hemsky.
Very strong blue line there. The Oilers held up a little bit more than they wanted to be. Nashville being very aggressive on the defensive line early on. But you can see Edmonton getting pucks in behind, getting in those foot races and getting pucks back. But when you have a bunch of guys with speed, a little attempt there to a puck possession entry didn't work out as they forced the offside.
Horcov will take the draw. He has taken a lot of draws this year. In fact, he is 8th most in the with 442 times to the dot. Gilbert will give it to Nugent Hopkins. Opening in the corner. Jeffrey on. It's their first. On the boards of Suns. Gilbert pass to Horcov. Horcov takes a look. Traffic in front provided by Ryan Smith. Horcov off the board. Back for Eberle. Up top to Gilbert. Nugent Hopkins takes his time. Gets double teamed as he delivers it on down low for Horcov. Penalty is over. Weber's back on the ice. And Jeffrey has the puck. To send in Kevin Klein. Klein. Weak shot. Stopped by Gilbert. Cleared for Horcov. The Oilers did not get a shot on that power play. Yossi. Checked by Jones. Malone.
No item in Boston Butcher at May.20.
Stalling 2-2. And Smith, the forward line now for the Nashville Predators with 8:40 to go here in the first period. Just 3 total shots.
3 total shots.
That is not Schmid.
Predators lead.
Through the middle for Gagne. Malone. For Stalling, he is checked by Petrie. And is picked up by Tutu. Jordan Tutu with a backhand that goes off Jeff Petrie and into the netting. Jordan Eberle celebrates his 8th goal of the season. The Oilers celebrate a 1-0 lead.
Block shots took.
The Oilers celebrate a 1-0 lead.
Canada.
Stanislav Schmid had gone 125 games without a goal December 5th.
WCF
Dallas until that. Now 5 goals in 341 NHL games, and maybe it's because he treats his sticks right. A little baby powder on the end of the stick to give him a bit of a better handle, and it certainly worked on Saturday. And I'm sure after that goal against Colorado that he slept like a baby.
He said it was a big weight off his shoulders. He's up there now. The Predators putting on some pressure. Nira, shot by Schmid. He wrapped. Down, gets right back up again. Schmid pushes the puck ahead to Bjork. He finds an open wing. Alashevsky going after it against Suter. Suter and Weber out there against the Horcov line. Look at Sean Horcov on the steal. Gets it to Bjork. Heavy shot. And Lindback the save, and he'll cover up.
Real nice pressure here by Edmonton and just staying on loose puck. Sean Horcov closes the gap, and for Wilson doesn't have a whole lot of space to make a play because Horcov is already on him. Bengals PR be getting a chance on this line with Taylor Hall being out, using his speed already a couple times tonight, driving wide, getting that shot through, and kind of bounced around off both pads of Lindback. And you know he'd like that one to slither through, but a good job by him to drive wide and create that chance.
Hopkins wins the draw to Petrie. It's the side of the net.
Boston Butcher at May.20.
The stick from Kostitsin. Broken stick lies out there, and it's Kostitsin. Well, he is. He'll have to go to the bench, and he does get one as Fisher gives it
Boston Butcher
to
at
Weber.
May.20.
Now to Kostitsin. Kostitsin centering pass for Weber, and that's deflected wide. Weber will play it back to Fisher. Mike Fisher. Now to Kostitsin. Fisher hammers that shot, and it goes wide. Picked up by Suter on the far side. His wrist shot deflects into the corner, and that allows Whitney to get it. Played along the wing, looking for Ryan Smith. Smith with Eberle in front. Out in front for Eberle. Stopped by Lindback. Colton Tupert keeps it in for Smith. Jordan Eberle. He's going to have mini stick night every night. Gagne digging for that loose puck. It comes to Weber. Weber plays it off the boards. Tupert there to try and keep it in. Then he lost it. He'll get right back up. Giving it to Jones. Jones, precise. Too many white players. And he's smiling, playing off the boards for Smith. Smith. Plays it to the middle. Hammers that pass right for Valerja inside the blue line. He lost it. 2-2. Start back for Nashville. Jordan Tutu trying to go right on Tupert. Tupert gives him a shot. Tutu trying to back through it. Still has it to Smith. Smith with a wrist shot. That is blocked by Theo Peckham. Jones can't get it out. Tutu shots near the side by Theo. Comes to Stalling. He'll let it go. Tipped by Smith wide. Smith for Tutu. At the end of his stick, the Oilers get out with Jones. Chips it, goes after it against Yossi. Lindback has to come out and play it. Now for Lander. He'll play it back for Schmid. Schmid splits Jones and Gagne with a pass. No icing. 5:46 to go here in the first period. The shots favor the Oilers. What's the score?
Yeah, very low shooting game, and that's one of the things if you look at Anders Lindback. This is only his 4th appearance in a game this year for the Nashville Predators, only his 2nd start. So for Edmonton, they're going to have to find a way to get some more on him. And for Nashville, they haven't been able to find the net too often with only 2 shots on net. So a very low shooting first period here. For Edmonton, a couple chances there to get pucks deep, turn pucks over. You give Nashville opportunities, they will come back, and that works both ways in this game. It's going to be that type of a game, though. The turnovers, the transitions, and capitalizing those opportunities for the respective teams.
Weber plays it off the boards, looking for Wilson. Bounces to Whitney. He'll play it for Biarby. Pushes it to Petrie. Round the boards. Kept in by Erat at the point. Wilson with it now. Wilson takes a look. Goes in deep. Back up to the point. And there's a great save by Habibulin off the shot from Ryan Suter. Kelly trying to keep it in. Magnus Biarby ties up with Erat. Petrie bumped into Wilson. Puck thrown on net. Deflected by Hensky into the corner. Wilson lost it to Biarby. Biarby quickly to Horcov. Horcov with Hensky catching up. Biarby's joined as well. Ales Hensky takes a bump there from Wilson. Fisher comes off the bench. Hensky, though, ends up with the puck, and he'll play it back to Theo Becker. Horcov takes a look. The Oilers making changes. Pass for Smith didn't connect. Jonathan Blum will touch it, and that's going to be icing.
Play keyboard.
Oh, yeah! Let's go! Let's do this!
Get your game on with Sports Select.
Well, a couple great chances at both ends, and this one here for Suiters. He gets it away quickly through traffic, cross rain. Nikolai Habibulin has to come up with a terrific blocker save, and then Ryan Smith just battles his way through, gets it to the net. Great job by Jordan Eberle. Get a stick on that last one. In tight.
Back the save, and he'll cover up.
Real nice pressure here by Edmonton, and just staying on loose puck. Sean Horcov closes the gap, and wide getting that shot through, and kind of bounced around off both pads and Lindback. And you know he'd like that one to slither through, but a good job by him to drive wide and create that chance.
Hopkins wins the draw to Petrie. He'll play it
23 minutes. 25, 26.
And waiting for it there. Up the middle.
To Lindback. And great job by
4 minutes to go in this first period. It's Hornquist up the middle. Tries to split the defense. Habibulin plays it around the boards. Theo Peckham waiting for it there. A bouncing puck is kept in. Kostitsin. He had Fisher alone in front. Eberle. Garvey shot. And with the save, and he'll cover up. The penalty is over.
real nice pressure.
10 bucks.
Tell us Oilers hockey here on Sportsnet.
And Ryan Nugent Hopkins playing with Ales Hensky. There's a ton of skill on that line for
An open wing. Ales Hensky.
Playing with that, it was developed really. Sitting on the bench together discussing that. Really nice to see the chemistry that has developed really between both Taylor Hall and Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
23 minutes.
Playing with Ales Hensky. There's a ton of skill on that line for Edmonton.
26 minutes, 9 seconds at 1 hour.
26.
The defensive pairing, Ryan Smith, just couldn't get that to his stick. Right at the side of the net. This feature plays it off the board. Just get over the red line, shoot it in, wants to make a change. Save, and he'll cover it.
Could win $1 million shopping present. We're right here.
Just staying on the loose puck. Sean Horcov closes the gap. He's going to draw a penalty. Race works down low once again. Horcov is already on this line. He's going to puck down low on the side. He takes a shot hard, using his speed already to hold the box tonight. Driving wide and that shot coming in here. Played the last 4 years over in Sweden. Was a teammate for 3 of those years with Magnus Biarby. He came in on a mission.
23 minutes, 34.
The numbers
26 minutes, 34 seconds at 1 hour. 95 on the
Defensive curl, Ryan Smith just couldn't get that to his stick. Right at the side of the net. This feature plays it off the boards. Now we'll just get over the red line, shoot it in, and also make a change. Schmid with some room. Jones. Yossi gets there ahead of Gagne. Plays it to his partner, Blood. Jordan Tutu with it down the near side. Locked into Beloze. Beloze looking for Jones. Ryan Jones right through the blue paint. And it gets all the way by Schmid. He's in a foot race now with Greg Smith. Plays it off the boards. Gilbert smart little play to tip it to Jones. Jones to an open wing. Ryan Jones. 11 points on the season. 9 of them have come even strength. But it is Ryan Smith who leads in that department. Is second in the league. He's got 20 even strength points. 2-2 shot. Stopped by Habibulin. Jeffrey on looking for the rebound. Here's Jeffrey on and a stick in the way of that and send it up into the netting. It's Tellis.
Hockey board short update.
Someone tells this little gaffer that he was on TV tonight. He might be interested to know that he can really enjoy that Oilers jersey if he joins the Edmonton Oilers Kids Club. It's back for only $20. Members will receive Kids Club merchandise and get exclusive access to monthly prizes. Sign up now at edmontonoilers.com/kidsclub.
2:32, the time left in this first period. And the face-off, Klein.
No item in deep hockey board short
Jared
update.
Smith gets it back to him. Kevin Klein throws it off the boards. Alischuk standing at the side. That was checked by Petrie. Shot whistles wide off the stick of Jared Smithson and gets deflected up into the netting and out of play.
Good pressure by Montreal there to get his stick in
And gets the shots are even at 7 apiece.
Predators
We'll be back to Rexall.
Gone 125 games without a goal. December
His
5th.
first National Hockey League goal.
Seek slider at 20 minutes, 43 seconds, 1 out, 31 minutes, 0.
Hemsky, Ryan Nugent Hopkins,
30 minutes.
brings it in to get it. Shot, great save. Here's Lee. Martin doing that. The whole lot. And that one start against the LA Kings gave up 4 goals.
Well, being the backup to one of the busiest goaltenders in the National Hockey League, he says he faced
Fisher comes off the bench. Hemsky, though, ends up with a puck, and he'll play it back to Theo Becker. Horcov takes a look. The Oilers making changes. Pass for Smith didn't connect. Jonathan Blum will touch it, and that's going to be icing.
Oh, yeah! Let's go! Let's do this!
Get your game on with Sports Select.
Well, a couple great chances at both ends, and this one here for Suiters. He gets it away quickly through traffic, cross grain. Nikolai Happy-Bruin has to come up with a terrific blocker save, and then Ryan Smith just battles his way through, gets it to the net. Great job by Jordan Eberle. Get a stick on that last one. In tight, close chance, and Lindback has to stack the pad. So the chances that have happened for both sides have been pretty high. Extra, so he's used to about 1,000, 1,500 a day. So this is a pretty easy load for him.
Magnus Bjarne given a bump there by Legwand. A centering pass. Back to the point. Weber's shot goes wide. Wilson, Legwand, and Erat putting on the pressure right now. Martin Erat with the puck. And Colin Wilson in the corner being watched by Schmid. Erat walks out of the corner. Wilson with Legwand hovering in front. Erat snaps the shot. Great save. Here's Legwand. Legwand giving it to Erat. Back to the point. Weber and Suter on the blue line. And Suter plays it around the boards. Weber waiting for it there. Magnus
No item
Bjarne
in YouTube video player group.
will play it out and get it to shot. And Lindback the save, and he'll cover up. And Smith.
Nope.
Real nice pressure here by Edmonton, and just
And Ladislav Schmid. Boy, it was touch and go.
Hockey board short update.
He said he's ready to play, but he didn't get the final go ahead until just before the opener.
It would have been a real letdown for
31 minutes, 0 seconds.
Schmid, who's
30 minutes, 10 seconds, 1 hour, 43 minutes, 30
He's
minutes.
worked very hard in the offseason to get himself in great shape to come in and try and
The center is the Nashville Predators want to make a change. Horcov brings it in. Take a shot that goes wide. Hopkins spins away from the hit, gets it to Smith. Smith with Eberle. A weak shot steered aside by Lindback. Smith tied out there by Weber. Nugent Hopkins spins and gets it. Period.
real nice pressure here by Edmonton, and just staying on
this is something we talked about about. They have over 20 set plays off face-offs to make every situation, every dot on the ice. They know exactly where everyone's going. And if you watch this, everyone
33 minutes, 14 seconds, 31 minutes, 0 seconds, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 20 seconds, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 30 seconds, 1 hour, 43 minutes, 21 seconds. Hockey board short, hockey board.
Away from the hit, gets it to Smith.
For Dan plays around the board. He wants to be unpredictable with the opponent, but predictable with his team.
He was picked up by
Hockey board short,
down. To Kostitsin. Kostitsin. To Horcov. He's given a bump there by Theo Becker. The puck comes free and is picked up by Smith. Nugent Hopkins headed to the front of the net. Ryan Smith, great pass.
Hockey board short,
Couldn't get the shot away. Not the save, and he'll cover up.
With 30 seconds left in the first period.
Real nice pressure here by Edmonton, and just staying on loose puck. Sean Horcov closes the gap. For Wilson, doesn't have a whole lot of space to make a play in because Horcov is already on him. Magnus Bjarne getting a chance on this line with Taylor Hall being out, using his speed already a couple times tonight, driving wide, getting that shot through, and kind of bounced around off both pads of Lindback. And you know he'd like that one to slither through, but a good job by him to drive wide and create that chip.
You like it?
Behind the net.
Behind the net.
Nugent Hopkins with it now. 30 seconds left to go in the period. Nugent Hopkins tied up by Hopkins. Ryan Smith leaves it in the corner. Jack Gillen will pick it up. Gillen. And a sneak this puck out. He'll get it to Kostitsin. Bounces it in. Back to pick it up with time is Theo Peckham. Peckham hands for one last rush. Theo Peckham works his way to center, shoots the puck in, and then back. Slows it down for Ryan Suter, checked by Bologna. And that will do it for the first period. The Oilers have the lead.
Predators have the 2-0 lead.
Ready to sell? RE/MAX agents have the experience to get the job done in today's market. Visit RE/MAX.ca today.
Neither one of the goaltenders very busy. 6 shots for the Preds, 4 for the Oilers. But the Oilers have the 1 goal. Darren Millard is manning it back at the studio. Take it away, Darren.
The Oilers have opened the score, but it was number 14 that did so in the part of the Edmonton Oilers as they lead by 1-3-1 against Edmonton. As they attempt to head out for period number 2, we will still look back over 20 minutes to talk a little bit about how it went. Mark Tucker will previously discuss Magnus Piarvi and how he will do and how he will do in this first period on a top 6 team.
Playing on the line with Sean Horcov and Alex Hemsky, and we...
The UFA, then he...
All right, gentlemen, thanks very much. I wonder if there's a team that plays in the division. It's the Motor City team that has a defenseman that's getting on in years. I don't think it's
I think 29 other teams want him.
Yeah, 5 goes out, 6 comes in. Not many shots in that first period, 10 combined. The Predators outshoot the Oilers 6-4, but the Oilers have the lead as the second period is underway. The guys we're talking about, Magnus Piarvi is out there now, and he is flying with Hemsky and second forward. Hemsky behind the net, being blocked by Jack Gillen, sends it back to the point. Schmid and Gilbert, the blue lines. Twine, shake it up in the first period, nothing goes for there right now. We have Jack Gillen start this second period. There is Gillen. The only goal of that loss against the Red Wings on Saturday. Horcov turns back in his own zone. Joe Everly hops over the boards. Schmid chips it in. Everly will go after it against Gillen. Everly on the court. He's got to deal with Horcov as well. That gets the puck to Smith. Smith cutting to the middle. Drops it back to the point. Theo Peckham will give it to Everly. Everly moves to get away from Hillen. Drops it back. And a great move there. And Ryan Smith almost poked it home, but he knocked it down with a high Smith stick. And Nugent Hopkins. Wow. As we take a look at tonight's net cams are brought to you by LASIK MD, providing you with a 20/20 view of all the action. Is what Anders Lindback saw there from an outstanding rookie and a rejuvenated veteran.
Yeah, and up close and personal. Watch the go-go gadget stick, and that's where Nugent Hopkins is so effective in traffic.
As we take a look at
YouTube video player.
Kia Seltos
tonight's net
is
cams
as
are brought to you
comfortable
by
on the road
LASIK
$75
as
version.
it is
providing
on
you
the
with a
road.
20/20
AIA
view
dots.
of all the
Slider,
action.
slider,
Is what
AIA dots.
Horcov.
Slider, slider at 0 minutes 7 seconds 0. AIA dots.
Rejuvenated veteran.
Yeah, up close and personal. Watch the go-go gadget stick, and that's where Nugent Hopkins is so effective in traffic as he's
YouTube video player.
precision-like with that stick, just a little jam, and then
No evidence in YouTube video player.
a little too high of a stick. And it gets whistled down. It goes loose, pucks up the face pads. I don't think there's been one time that Edmonton's got a puck deep in this game that they haven't retrieved it and created something offensively. And they got away from that in the first period, tried to make pass through the neutral zone, turn pucks over in the offensive blue line. It didn't go their way. They didn't generate many chances. So I think early on here, you're going to see that puck getting deep and them establishing that forecheck early on.
Eric Belanger will line up against Nick Smalling for this draw. He wins it. And Eric Belanger is 10th in the league in faceoff wins.
Austin Boyd shirt, okay, button.
Gonna catch that hot fly and hang on to it.
I showed him a little bit short, and his Lindback I did saying he's only 6'5". He's 6'6". He's the bigger of the two. Pecorine is 6'5", but there he's shorty. He's the shorty guy, but we had a good conversation with him last Tuesday in Nashville. Hasn't seen a lot of time this year, so he's picking up a lot from being the backup to Pecorine. Two big guys that play similar games, so he watches them intently in games. Last Tuesday in Nashville hasn't seen a lot of time this year, so he's picking up a lot from being the backup to Pecorine. Two big guys that play similar games, so he's a lot from being the backup to Peke Rinne. Two big guys that play similar games, so he watches them intently in games and practice. They bounce things off each one another. And in the future, I think you're going to see a 6-foot Lindback.
Going to catch that top fly and hang on to it.
I sold him a little bit short, Anders Lindback. I did, saying he was only 6'5". He's 6'6". He's the bigger of the two. Peke Rinne 6'5", but
they call him shorty.
Yeah, he's the shorty guy, but we had a good conversation with him last Tuesday in Nashville. Hasn't seen a lot of time this year. Says he's picking up a lot from being the backup to Peke Rinne. Two big guys that play similar games, so he watches them in conversation with him last Tuesday in Nashville. Hasn't seen a lot of time this year. Says he's picking up a lot from being the backup to Peke Rinne. Two big guys that play similar games, so he wants.
His biggest save of the period.
6'5", a very good short. He's a 3-on-1 that developed off that face-off, and this is something we talked to Dan Biles about. They have over 20 set plays off face-off in every situation, every dot on the ice. They know exactly where everyone's going. And if you watch this, everyone goes on a mission to their desired spot. A 3-on-1 develops, and they get a great scoring chance. There, Devin Dubik with his biggest save of the game. Keeps only a 1-0 lead. For Dan Biles, he says he wants to be
No. And he's lost his last 4. Going to catch that.
And the Wild have rattled off in this building against the Oilers since 2007. Let's look at the goaltenders. Brought to you by Ports Northland Ford. And Nikolai Hamibulin gets the start. He is a very active goaltender. Stanley Cup champion with the Tampa Bay Lightning years ago, and trying to get back to that form. And speaking of good form, rattled off in the Lightning years ago, and trying to get back to that form. And speaking of good form, Nicholas Baxton has it this season. It's just hard not to.
100 value.
Going to catch that top fly and hang on to it.
I sold him a little bit short, Anders Lindback. I did, saying he was only 6'5". He's 6'6". He's the bigger of the two. Peke Rinne 6'5", but
they call him shorty.
Yeah, he's the shorty guy, but we had a good conversation with him last Tuesday in Nashville. Hasn't seen a lot of time this year, so he's picking up a lot from being the backup to Peke Rinne. Two big guys that play similar games, so he watches.
Going to catch that top fly and hang on to it.
I sold him a little bit short, Anders Lindback. I did, saying he was only 6'5". He's 6'6". He's the bigger of the two. Peke Rinne 6'5", but
they call him shorty.
Yeah, he's the shorty guy, but we had a good conversation with him last Tuesday in Nashville. 6'5". He's 6'6". He's the bigger of the two. Peke Rinne 6'5", but
they call him shorty.
Yeah, he's the shorty guy, but we had a good conversation with him last Tuesday in Nashville. Hasn't big guys that play similar games, so he watches them intently in games and practice. They bounce things off each one another.
Peke Rinne has not.
And it gets whistled out.
Carries in, and it's going to say colors. He did not get out of the zone quickly enough. You know, Edmonton wants to get off the schneid in terms of winning hockey games in this building, and they do so with a good one-timer there by Gilbert, and then Jones with a tip over the net, and then another deflection in front. So the Oilers are getting some early chances, but it's not easy to score on that man. He has been good.
Lindback. Going to catch in face-off. Wheels.
Nope.
Here is Suter.
Again. Scores! Ryan Suter. Second goal of the hockey game. It's 3-0 Predators.
Here's Lindback. I did, saying he was only 6'5". He's 6'6". He's the bigger of the two. Peke Rinne 6'5", but
they call him shorty.
Yeah, he's the shorty guy, but we had a good conversation with him last Tuesday in Nashville. Hasn't seen a lot of time this year, so he's picking up a lot from being the backup to Peke Rinne. Two big guys that play similar games, so he watches them intently. Sure. Big Rinne left.
And he's lost his last 4.
Asking for short.
4 goals on 37 shots in that game against the Red Wings. Larson fakes the shot. Goes wide on Shea Weber. Weber flings it around the boards, and it gets by Jordan Tutu. And all the way down into Oiler territory, Theo Beckett. They're going to pick it up there. Being watched by Matt Holstad. Drops it back for Jordan Tutu. Tutu. Ball on cross-ice pass intended for Horcov. Too far for him. Yossi will touch it, and that's going to be icing.
On a little bit of a slow change there by the Nashville Predators. with that stretch pass. It's a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Horcov, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive play there by all four lines. Getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line.
Oh, Horcov, too far for him.
Too far for him. By Devin Dubnik.
Capitalizing a little bit of the slow change.
Gets him in hot water.
Too far for him. Yossi will touch it, and that's going to be icing.
Oilers trying to capitalize on a little bit of the slow change there by the Nashville Predators. With that stretch pass, it's a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Horcov, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action.
Yossi will touch it, and there, being watched by Matt Allistock, drops it back to Tuber. Long cross-ice pass intended for Long cross-ice pass intended for Horcov. Too far for him. Yossi will touch it, and that's going to be
slow change there by the Nashville Predators. With that stretch pass, it's a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Horcov, so they'll come back down to the right.
Too far for him. Yossi will touch it, and that's going to be icing.
Oilers trying to capitalize on a little bit of the slow change there by the Nashville Predators. With that stretch pass, it's a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Horcov, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that
pass is a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Horcov, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin. Out of the reach of Darcy Horcov, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line. For down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line.
Amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah.
It's the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines.
That first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line. So they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes.
Between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line. So they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 in between of Darcy Horcov, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, Horcov, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an
amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action.
They're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line for Tom Rooney.
Fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
See Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talk about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line
play under Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talk about in between the periods, the
back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talk about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over
about in between the periods, the
so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line. So they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai. Stretch pass is a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line for Tom Rooney. So when they play well, they're getting pucks deep and they're being a physical presence. They're going to see display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line for Tom Rooney. I mean, obviously a tough four lines. Trying to capitalize on a little bit of a slow change there by the Nashville Predators. With that stretch pass, just a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 now. Yeah, you know, it was an impressive down to the right. With that stretch pass, just a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin. And you talked about the reach of Darcy Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period.
Look at the goal. Yeah, you know, it was an impressive. With that stretch pass, just a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the
Darcy Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over.
And a temporary pause prior to the goal.
3 minutes for the fourth line. Come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin. Pass just a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that.
Habibulin just capitalized on a little bit of a slow change there by the Nashville Predators. With that stretch pass, just a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over out of the reach of Darcy Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for
the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes
between the periods, the
so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes.
And that's going to be icing.
The Oilers trying to capitalize on a little bit of a slow change there by the Nashville Predators. With that stretch pass, just a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Hordichuk, so they'll come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes.
The periods, the amount of time the fourth line has gotten that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, you know, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action.
They're talking about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period, and they're here now.
Yeah, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth.
No item of use keyboard shortcut and button net.
Steelers trying to capitalize on a little bit of a slow change there by the Nashville Predators. With that stretch pass, just a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Horcov.
Volume slider. Mute. Next.
Thank you, Scott.
YouTube video player.
In a bad mood after a slow start. They're here.
35 volume reading.
Makes his third start.
35 volume
Still
reading.
looking for his first win. Is there a goalie under more pressure with an inauspicious .855 save percentage so far? Kevin Dubnyk beat Pittsburgh in Edmonton's home opener in a 2-1 shootout. He has a gaudy .971 save percentage and is in a
Pause keyboard shortcut and button net. YouTube video. Pause keyboard shortcut.
He has a gaudy .971 save percentage.
Pause keyboard shortcut and button net. Speed is 1.25 root.
Amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period. They're here now.
Yeah, it was an impressive
Amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period. They're here now.
Yeah, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line for Tom Murray. So when they play well, they're getting pucks deep and they're being a physical presence. They're going to see more down to the right with that stretch. Yoki will to Darcy Horcov for the Predators. With that stretch pass, just a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Horcov, so will come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period. They're here now.
Yeah, it was an impressive. With that stretch pass, just a little bit out of the reach of Darcy Horcov, so will come back down to the right of Nikolai Habibulin.
And you talked about in between the periods, the amount of time the fourth line has got in that first period. They're here now.
Yeah, it was an impressive display there by all four lines, getting a lot of action over 3 minutes for the fourth line for Tom Murray. So when they play well, they're getting pucks deep and they're being a physical presence. They're going to see more time, and obviously a tough road trip. It's been a tough November for the Edmonton Oilers when you look at the whole package, trying to get more bodies engaged too early on, so late in the game, if you have to cut down to a couple lines or three, they'll have more energy. So good usage of the whole bench for that first 20 by Edmonton.
With the 12 and Hordichuk. Two get the puck in. Then they're going to change. Now the Horcov line will get up there, along with Schmid and Gilbert. I think the Abbeys familiar with Anders Lindback. Maybe able to pass along a few tips to his teammates. As the puck right down. The Arby being watched by Ewell. Behind the net it goes. Jonathan Glenn plays away off the boards. Chopped down by Kostica. Ewell gave it away to Hemsky. Gilbert trying to keep it into the point. Good defensive play there by Bjarni as he was covering up for Gilbert. Oh, he runs right into Fisher. Schmid for Gilbert. Gilbert after Schmid gets it to Horcov. Horcov swept in by Hemsky. Jones going after it. Gets a backhand away. That goes over top of the net. Hemsky on the far side. Being watched there by Glenn. Delivers it back to the point. Whitney behind the net for Belanger. Belanger wins that battle with Yoshi. Turns on the shot goal. Was deflected by Blood. Trying to make that save.
Well, I had a chance to work with her prior to tonight's game, and you can watch her on Sportsnet. It's fueled by fans as well as Hazel May. Watch her on Sportsnet. It's fueled by fans as well as Hazel May. Weekdays on Sportsnet. It's fueled by fans as well as Hazel May. Weekdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time.
Dump off the wall and good. Job, but see what he's got.
Congratulations to Ryan Jones. He's 200th game in the National Hockey League tonight. And I guess he is still the 100th. centering. And was cut off there. That was the
Kickoff. The captain of the Oilers. Under the playoff goal.
Looking back for BRV and was kicked away by Hiller. Haynes had a good stick.
He's broken up real key chances. Everyone in the first period, that one there for PRV.
Erat with it now. Erat centering pass, and that got by Legron. And come all the way down into Nashville territory. Edler and Suter back together again. Lifting. Mike Fisher line, where Wilson has the puck right now. Colin Wilson across the blue line. Wilson with a wrist shot, and that gets deflected by Gilbert up into the net.
Not 18 volume.
Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
So important, Kevin, when you're under attack to have people collapsing, being physical down low, making it a tough area to get to. And Leonard Petrell, who's no stranger to laying the body on people, doesn't allow Matt Halischuk to get in with 34 hits.
Did not dress against the game against Colorado. Back in the lineup tonight. Intercepted that pass. As Keaton pushes it back to Suba. Fisher. From the corner against Gilbert. Keaton trying to center it. And Happy Bullen cut it off. And will cover up.
Good cover up there by Happy Bullen to settle things down. A little block shot in front. Jordan Everly heads up, almost finds Ryan Smith streaking through the middle. Good job by Ryan Smith to look for that stretch. And knowing that he's under pressure a little bit, Happy Bullen decides to hold on to this one and get the face-off, which is always a smart play. A veteran goaltender settling things down. There's a little bit of pressure from the opposition. Clear some heads.
2-2 winds up and fires a shot. Rebound in front for Keaton trying to center it. And Happy Bullen cut it off.
Here's the opening said about Nugent Hopkins' inability to win draws. The first one away from Cody Hodgson, and that Nick Ballard hit check. But if he goes a little too low, gets him in hot water. But it's a perfectly executed one. Down the right wing boards there. Look at that stretch. Knowing that he's under pressure a little bit, Happy Bullen decides to hold on to this one and get the face-off, which is always a smart play. A veteran goaltender settling things down. There's a lot of pressure from the opposition. Driving to the net, takes a little left.
Pause group image. Account menu item. Seat slot. 43 minutes 33 seconds.
The poke.
Involving all kinds of activity. Involving Jordan Tutu.
Guess who? Yeah. He's going to be in the middle of a lot of stuff and driving to the net, takes a little extra poke. Under the glove of Nikolai Happy Bullen, who makes a good first save and then has to reach far out for the second one. He doesn't quite get his glove all the way over top of it. A couple of extra whacks afterwards. And Jordan Tutu bulldozing over Eric Belanger. That's what made everyone mad. And Colton Tuber came over, had a few words with him. And they might continue to chat.
Rupert pushes on Tutu as the Oilers get the puck out. Belanger brings it in. He is cut off. There is Theo Peckham at center. He'll give it to Tuber. Tuber hammers that puck in and gets by Lindback right to Jones. And Lindback has lost his stick. Anders Lindback, his stick sitting in the faceoff circle. Yossi plays it off the boards. And then Spaulding tips it down the ice. Happy Bullen has to come out to play it. But he can't get it by Smith. Lindback has his stick back, and Jones has the puck. And Jones takes a hit there from number 22. Peckham comes together with Tutu. And then Jones hammers Jeffrey on. As Smithson let the gut game. See Jeffrey on down, and a penalty on the way. Blake Jeffrey on not in the lineup the last 4 games as he makes his way to the bench now. And Jones is going to the penalty box. Tutu goes down.
He's going to give them both one here, so things getting heated up here and a little emotion being shown by both sides. It was 2-2 at the run on Jones. First, Jones was ready for him, and then he caught Jeffrey on behind the net, and he's really shook up. He had to make his way back knee about 10 feet away, so definitely shook up, and that's a tough loss for him. Healthy scratch the last 4 games. 2-2 with the run. Things getting heated up here, and a little emotion being shown by both sides. It was 2-2 with the run on Jones. First, Jones was ready for him. And then by both sides, it was 2. And then he caught Jeffrey on behind the net, and he's really shook up. He had to make his way back. About 10 feet away, so definitely shook up. And that's a tough loss for him. He scratched the last 4 games. And he gets back in there and gets injured. Had a tough first period falling into the boards. Here's the run by 2-2, and this kind of gets it out.
Basketball shirt that day, buddy.
Everybody boiled over. You'll watch Ryan Jones in the play. Comes back down into it. He's looking to hit someone himself, and Jeffrey doesn't see him coming. A pretty good hit. It looked like shoulder to shoulder. And then afterwards, 2-2 having some words with Peckham, and he's going to give them both one as Peckham gives him a little check and maybe a little unsportsmanlike for him.
We'll take a break. Tell us Oilers hockey here on Sports. We'll take a break. Tell us Oilers hockey here on Sports.
The box is filling up here as both sides taking some penalties. Joe Petrucci, the only one for Nashville. Here's the hit by Ryan Jones on Blake Jeffrey on it. It looked like a pretty clean hit after he had the puck, and he stayed down for a while. So I'm not exactly sure what the penalty is to Ryan Jones, but he went to the box saying it's an elbow.
It's an elbow.
It didn't look like the 2-2, and Peckham will get coincidentals and head to the box. There's the Nashville Predators that will actually have a 5-minute power play. They're getting 5 bases for that. I didn't see that, so.
Whoa. 2 gets rubbing, 2-2 gets unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike.
A huge penalty kill coming up, and now an interference ball to Sergei Kostitsin.
15 goals in the playoffs. He's 19 more away.
To make the pass, after seeing it on the big screen, realizing that
the Philadelphia Flyers.
Ryan Jones. A little interference here by Sergei Kostitsin as he comes through and just doesn't allow Jones to keep going. But once again, 2 guys battling for a puck, and they'll head to the box for 2.
Okay. So we'll play 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. Gagne, Belanger, Whitney, and Petrie. Gagne gets thrown out of the circle. Belanger steps in. He'll line up against Leguan, wins that cross. Petrie back to Whitney. Ryan Whitney, cross-side pass looking for Belanger, cut off there by Suter. Petrie keeps it in. Goes forward to the opposite corner. Takes a lot of there as well. Leguan was loose down the middle of the Suter. Goes it towards the net, the side of the cage. Smith cut off there by Whitney.
Over 2016 Stanley Cup playoffs.
It's pushed back, and here comes Belanger. Belanger with Petrie and Gagne. Here's Belanger. Knocked out by Gagne. Knocked it down with a high stick.
Basketball shirt that day, buddy.
Great opportunity in the shorthand play there. A 3-on-1 developing as the Predators getting a little too anxious down low. When you look at Suter and Weber, just the dynamic duo and where they stand amongst defensemen in the National Hockey League since 2008, 2009. Just a terrific pairing, and as we talked about a lot, much better when they've been separated. They just seem to know what one another are. They really play well off one another. 2 big guys that can play the physical game, but also put up some points, because they both had 12 points in the last 10 games played for the Nashville Predators.
Malone and Yossi out there, and it is Lund who gives it away to Anton Lander. Anton for Everly, and that was cut off by Blum.
Career playoff goal.
He's got Nick Smalling with him. Chips it in. Smalling going after it against Tuber. Tuber ties him up behind the net. Halishchuk digs it out. Away from Schmid. He'll try to wrap around backhand out in front for Smalling. A shot. Now Halishchuk bangs away, and Happy Bullen has the pads down and makes the save. Smalling. Yossi. He is checked before he could get the shot away. Halishchuk behind the net. Smalling out in front. Halishchuk works his way out in front. Cross-ice pass. What a save by Happy Bullen as he robs Jonathan Blum. Happy Bullen. Outstanding as Everly crosses the blue line. Jordan Everly cutting for the net against Yossi, and Yossi trips him up, and he'll head to the box. Well, a 5-minute major for Ryan Jones. Not turning out to be much of an advantage. for Nashville.
It's going to be a 4-on-3 for Edmonton here, but what a chance in front. 2 or 3 solid whacks at it. Halischuk has 2 himself later on. And the extension by Happy Boolin, I don't think it could have gone any further than that. And another terrific one here as Blum comes down and has a terrific in the slot shot. Jordan Eberle driving wide. And Yossi's stick gets tangled up in between his legs, takes him down. He'll head to the box for 2. So 4-on-3 power play coming up here for 24 seconds for Edmonton.
Eberle on the ice, and Whitney now comes off. Gustafsson, as Louis mentioned, still with 24 seconds in his penalty. The Oilers' second power play. They did not get a shot the last time they had the man advantage. Now it's 4-on-3 from the faceoff. Gilbert takes a shot from Smithson, and Smithson forces the play outside the line. Eberle brings it right back in. Eberle dropped for Nugent Hopkins. Back to the point for Gilbert. Horcov in front. Nugent Hopkins gets it to a pad save opportunity for Eberle, and that may have caught some of the post. Eberle with it down. He'll play it back to the point to Gilbert. Eberle dances, lets the shot go. Lindback the save. 4-on-4 now for the next minute and 25 seconds. Jordan Eberle to Horcov. Horcov stopped by Gustafsson. Gets it to Eberle. Pass intended for Nugent Hopkins off the blade of his stick. Suter and Nugent Hopkins come together. The puck's still alive. It gets to Mike Fisher. Fisher with Gustafsson.
Husky board short. No.
We'll give it to Jeff Petrie. Petrie drops it for Whitney. Whitney to Ryan Smith on the left side. Drops it for Petrie. Cuts to the middle. Lets the sneaky shot go. Lindback the save. And he'll hang on.
With only 24 seconds in the 4-on-3, Edmonton had to be quick. Make the decisions. Great first chance as a shot by Hopkins gets through the screen, and Eberle has a terrific rebound chance. Great recovery by Lindback for a big man, gets across and makes that save. This is the second one as Eberle walks himself in and gets that shot through. And the blocker gets down and is storing him on the side. So 2 chances in that 24-second 4-on-3. You like to see Edmonton taking it to the net like that. But the big man makes some clutch saves to keep it a 1-goal game.
6'6". Anders Lindback. Gillen under pressure from Ryan Smith. Smith and Hemsky are up front. Petrie and Whitney on the blue line. Leg one. Klein trying to get it in, and does. Leg one from the corner. He is with Martin Erat. Back to the point. Kevin Klein able to keep it in. Throws a wrist shot towards the net. Happy Boolin through traffic made the save. Whitney plays it around the boards. There's Hemsky. Alex Hemsky. Quick pass for Smith. Petrie joins the play. Off the end of his stick, though, and Hillen is there. 10 seconds left to go. The penalty to Yossi. Klein across the blue line. He'll play it around behind the net. Gilbert waiting for it. Now the Nashville Predators have a minute of power play time. Cutting from the net. Petrell moving in. Petrell backhand, and he gets taken hard into the net. It comes off the moorings. And it was the rookie Craig Smith who takes the other rookie hard into the net.
And a terrific drive by Petrell here as he just gets inside positioning, keeps his feet going, and has the wherewithal to try the backhand move, gets steamrolled through, losing it at the same time. And all the pressure coming back by the 2 Predators, hacking and whacking, and eventually loses the puck. A good job by him to stay steady that long. And collides into the post.
55 seconds left to go in the penalty to Ryan Jones. Belanger and Horcov are up front. Gilbert and Ladislav Schmid on the blue line. Colin Wilson will line up now against Horcov. Wins the draw back to Ryan Suter. He and Weber are on the blue line. Wilson, Smith, and Hornquist up front. Smith racks that puck in. Happy Boolin to the corner for Gilbert. Gilbert chops at it, comes up behind the net. Wilson shot from a sharp angle. Hornquist banging away at it. Hornquist checked by Schmid. Colin Wilson lost it. That allows Horcov to pick it up. 30 seconds of power play time remaining for the Nashville Predators. And offside is the call.
To help you reach your home project goals, choose the home team. Homeowners helping homeowners.
8:53 to go here in the second period. The Predators out shooting the Oilers 16-9 to this point. They have 28 seconds left of the penalty to number 28. Hornquist against Tuber. Centering pass right to Wilson. Great save by Javi Bulin. Anton Lander picks it up and he'll send it down the ice.
Nashville Predators have had at least 4 point blankers in this game. Nikolai Javi-Bulin comes up with another huge save there. Shorthanded.
Weber cutting for the net. A wrist shot. Scores! The captain. Just as the power...
Nikolai shorthanded. Save there. Shorthanded.
Weber cutting for the...
And shaved in.
And it was the goal of the season. Everly. At 11:34 ties this game at 1. There from Petrie as he delivers the puck deep. Javi Bulin. Little mix-up. Open net. Backhand. What a save by Javi Bulin as he recovers to take it away from Mike Fisher.
And that was a great move by Fisher, too. Went to the backhand. Looked like he had a wide-open net. And Javi Bulin at the last second stops him with the pad.
Smalling with a cross-ice pass for Tutu. His backhand stopped by Gilbert. Jones. Can't get it by Blum. He'll shoot it right back in. Tutu behind the net. Takes a hit there from Schmid. Knocks him down. Centers it. Smalling jams away. Now Tutu into the net. Schmid helping him along. Shot after shot. And then Smithson jumps in. And he takes down Ladislav Schmid. Nikolai Javi-Bulin recovers. And he denies Mike Fisher.
Well, time for Tella's True Fan Text Trivia. Put these players in order from the most to the least total games played. For the Edmonton Oilers, if it's Glenn Anderson, A. Mark Messier, H. Ryan Smith, P. Kevin Lowe, C. Kelly Buchberger, M. Now to enter, text the final 5-letter keyword to 333777. And the most games played by any Oiler, I don't know if this is a hint or not, or just a number, is 1,037 in the regular season.
The Nashville Predators had 19 total shots in their game Saturday against the Red Wings. They have 19 shots here with 7:20 to go in the second period. Out shooting the Oilers 19-9 at this point. Horcov checked by Wilson. Erat with the puck down. Martin Erat all the way back to the blue line. Still has it checked by Hemsky.
YouTube.
There is Jack Dillon. Pushes it behind the with Legwand and Wilson. Magnus Bjarne goes up and over David Legwand and moving up on the ice.
Speed is 1.25.
Dillon throws it in the opposite corner. Wilson going after it against Horcov. Wilson behind the net. Colin Wilson throws it in front. It comes to Klein. He steps into a shot, and that one goes high and wide. The Nashville Predators with a big pushback here in the second period, energized by that goal. On the power play by Shea Weber, Ryan Suter got the assist. Both of those guys remain hot. Weber now has 8 points in his last 8 games, and for Suter, 7 points in his last 6. Klein with Hillen. Jack Hillen. Sergo Kostitsyn backhands it in. Fisher going after it against Nugent Hopkins. Pushes it behind the net. A bouncing puck will come to Everly. Jordan Everly trying to get it out. Can't do it. Can't get by Kostitsyn. Fisher and Hornquist up front as it comes back to Suter. A wrist shot through traffic. Javi-Bulin made the save. Theo Pekka. Outlet for Everly. Cut off there by Weber. Fisher to Hornquist. Picked up behind the net by Hopkins. Under pressure from Hornquist. He'll have another opportunity here. To Everly in close quarters. Gets by him. Smith throws it towards the net. Deflected wide by Pekka, who took a shot from Hornquist. He takes a shot, and here is Smith walking out. Backhand. Loose in front. Hornquist put it up and over. Patrick Hornquist is snake bit right now. It stays a 1-1 game.
On December 2nd, when the Edmonton Oilers host the Minnesota Wild, they are giving out, kind of like tonight, instead of Jordan Everly mini sticks, it will be Grant Fuhr mini jerseys to the first 10,000 fans. Not a surprise that it is sponsored by FedEx, because I think during his time when it came to winning cups, nobody delivered like Grant Fuhr.
The last time these teams were here, 12 shots for the Nashville Predators total. They got 21. There's 22.
Got 15 already in the second period. They've come out on fire and generated chances. Javi Bullen has been terrific, stopping 14 of them in the second. But they've definitely had the better chances on both sides, and they've got the momentum right now.
Well, the pass to 2-2. 2-2 throws it towards the net. He really sees on the side. Smith there. Taken back to the point. In by Miller. Gets it to Smalling. 2-2. Smith and Smalling putting on the trail. Frank Smith. The centering pass was there. He starts to get through that. But he's got to come back again. Now is jarred loose, and he already plays it over to Hemsky. Alex Hemsky wants to just get to the red line, put it in, and head off on a change. Nugent and Ryan Smith and Sam Gagnon out there now. Sam Gagnon getting an opportunity to play with Smith and Nugent Hopkins. Gilbert. Gagnon. Cross ice for Smith, too far for him. Weber gets there first. At center, it's Tom Gilbert. Checked by Legwand. Quick pass to Erad. He's got Wilson with him. Martin Erad. Waits. Drag. Shot to the top of the net. Schmid got down. Erad got it by him. Weber hammers that shot, and getting a stick in the way is Sam Gagnon to send it into the net.
Tails! Oh, yeah! Let's go! Let's do this!
Get your game on with Sports Select.
Little confusion here in the neutral zone. Everyone thinking the puck's going to get deep. Two Predators are sent away. Great move by Martin Erad to pull it around the stick with the last second. It deflects just enough off Schmid's stick to go up off the crossbar. A terrific chance created with that speed on the turnover.
Sugar with a wrist shot that goes wide. Jordan Eberle now on that third line with Eric Belanger and Ryan Jones. So Gagnon and Eberle switch spots. As Tubert works over Alishchuk. Jones circles behind his own net. Will get it for Eberle. Eberle under pressure plays it back to Tubert. Tubert will give it to Theo Peckham. He's got some room. Peckham, hard pass up for Jones, tipped in. And that line's going to change up. Get the fourth line out there now, with 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the second period. The Oilers looking for one more shot to get the double digits. Louis putting
They got to have the puck first. It's been incredible. It's been all Nashville in the second period, and obviously the 5-minute power play that was a little bit nullified by the 2 penalties by Nashville. But when you have that 5-minute power play, it's hard to get into the rhythm, and Nashville has just continued to push the issue here in this second period.
And Sam Gagnon gets an opportunity to
play that was a little bit nullified by the 2 penalties by Nashville. Obviously the 5-minute power play that was a little bit nullified by the 2 penalties by Nashville. But when you have that 5-minute power play,
YouTube video player group.
Louis putting
here's Sam Gagnon. You got to have the puck first.
Gagnon won for the 10 goal. 10 goals for number 89, Sam Gagnon.
The 5-minute power play that was a little bit nullified by the 2 penalties by Nashville. But when you have that 5-minute power play, it's hard to get into the rhythm, and Nashville just continues to push the issue here in this second period.
Sam Gagnon gets an opportunity to play with a lot of different guys. He's up there with big goals.
Yeah, this might be a situation for Tom Ray trying to get him away from the matchup with Suter and Weber. We're just trying to find Tom Ray trying to get
with Lander and Petrell.
Yeah, this might be a situation for Tom Ray trying to get him away from the matchup with Suter and Weber. We're just trying to find some spark here between the lines, and Nashville.
Good shot that doesn't make it through.
YouTube
Definitely have a plan coming into this middle 20.
Love with a wrist shot that doesn't make it through. Whitney to Gagnon. Gagnon to Petrell off the skate. Yossi takes a hit from Petrell as he sends the puck in deep. Petrie down to Whitney. Gets it right back again. Jeff Petrie.
us right here at Rexall Place. This Friday, it'll be that young man's former team as Windsor takes on Ottawa Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And we do have a Taylor Hall update, and I think it's good news, especially if you're Taylor Hall and the Edmonton Oilers. Early returns are 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days in regards to Taylor Hall's return to the Oilers lineup.
And that is great news.
30th point of the playoff.
75 off YouTube video player group. YouTube video player group.
Ryan fires. Locked by Spears. Horcov. The save. Sean Horcov. Garnier. All the way back to the blue line.
25 points.
He'll drop it there for Hemsky. Trying to get away from Nick Spaulding. Hemsky still has it. Hemsky wide, looking in front. Horcov bangs away. Sean Horcov with PRV in front. Horcov behind the net. Back to the point it comes. Schmid waiting for it. He'll go to Hemsky. Hemsky, PRV, wrist shot. Blocked by Jared Smithson. Gilbert. Now to Schmid. Spaulding without his stick. Hemsky is checked by Smithson. Schmid throws it towards the net. Kevin Klein knocks it down and is able to get it out. Great shot for Horcov, Hemsky, and PRV. Gilbert with it now. Gilbert to PRV. Back to Hemsky. Hemsky looking for Nugent Hopkins. Puck was now. Gilbert to PRV. Back to Hemsky. Hemsky looking for Nugent Hopkins. Puck was behind him. Nugent Hopkins in the corner. Checked by Jordan Tutu. Spins away. The puck comes to Klein. And we have got a high stick. With 1:09 to go.
Well, real nice push back here. This has been a while.
1:09 to go.
Well, real nice push back here. This has been a while that Edmonton's had an opportunity like this in the offensive zone. Good work down low. Feet keep moving. Two chances. Once there early, and then the one by PRV in the high slot. Doesn't get it away too quick, but an errant high stick catches Nugent Hopkins from Jordan Tutu as he was going down, so he'll go to the box for 2 minutes. And the Oilers will be back in the power play.
It is their third power play, and it comes late in this period. Everly back to Gilbert. Nugent Hopkins. Everly. Watched by Weber.
Hockey game.
Smith to Horcov on the near side. Back to the point. Tom Gilbert. Everly snaps a shot. And Weber got in the way of it. He'll send it down the ice. He ran all over Gilbert. Nugent Hopkins takes a look. 49 seconds to go in the period. Here comes Everly with Smith. Everly. Big watch by Weber. Smith centers it out in front. Horcov. Takes a look. Sean Horcov to Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Stick broken. Trying to work his way back to the bench. Legua prevented that for a second. Hemsky hops over the boards. 24 seconds to go. Now the puck comes free. David Legua will pull it all the way down to Happy Boone. Here's Weber. Turns. Can't get it by Smith. Weber. Chance for one last shot. Eric Belanger. Back to the point. Gilbert. Back to Belanger. And that wrist shot goes wide. When the third period starts, Jordan Tutu will be in the box for 50 seconds. A 1-1 game here after 2 periods. Darren Millard will break it down. He and the rest of the panel set to go right now.
He sure had a nice rest in that second intermission, considering how busy he was. And as a result of that, Nashville one goal by Happy Bullen to match the one Edmonton got in the opening period. Joined by Mark Spector and Ryan Jones, that meanie, played in perfectly.
It's full of mint. Nashville Predators.
So Ryan Whitney and Sam Gagne.
Sam Gagne.
Eric Belanger, Ryan Smith, Ryan Whitney, and Sam Gagne.
The third player.
In a 1-1 game where the
10 goals.
Oilers have been outshot 22-11, 16-7 in that second period. Whitney.
Oh.
And Hemsky. check by Smithson. And Smithson gets it down the ice. Nick Smalling gets to it first. Smalling backhands it in. Weber was in deep as well. It is Smalling and Fisher up front. Now Erat joins Fisher. Weber and Hillen on the blue line. Hemsky drops it back for Smith. Gets the puck right back again. Alex Hemsky with Smith going to the front of the net. 10 seconds to go in the penalty. Hemsky's pass is intercepted by Fisher. He's will send it down the inside. That will do it. The Oilers' third, but shot away. And then with a shot. And scores!
First playoff goal!
YouTube video.
It's a power play goal. Just 0.4 seconds left on the power play, and we're tied.
Austin Butcher.
And Tubert's headed to the box. Check.
Colton Tuber tried to settle this one down as he goes to lift the stick. He lifts Jordan Tutu stick into his own face. He'll go to the box, 2 minutes for high stick. And great rush by Sam Gagner just before. Walks in, goes wide, uses his speed, and has a good chance. As he gets in alone with Lindback. Goes wide, uses his speed, and has a good chance. As he gets in alone with Lindback.
Video player.
Tubert in the penalty box. And the Nashville Predators on their fourth power play. They scored in the second period to tie the game. It was Shea Weber from Ryan Suter and Anders Lindback. Those three guys are on the ice right now. Suter under pressure from Smith. He is with Horcov. That's the great shot by Ryan Smith. Behind the net. And he wasted 20 seconds. Weber. Intended for Wilson. His stick. Speed will get there first. Smith. Against Ryan Smith. As it comes to Connor Wilson. Wilson moves it around the boards. Weber waiting for it at the point. Weber can't control it. A chance for Horcov. Sean Horcov short-handed on a breakaway. Sean Horcov! In the backhand just wide of the post. The Oilers with 2 short-handed goals so far this season. Neil Peckham. Under pressure there from both Smith and Wilson. Wilson. Bouncing talking point. Set down the ice. Not able to Petrell. Lindback. Connecting traffic as he gets the Jonathan Blow. Petrell and Lindback. Up front. Petrie and Peckham on the blue line. Michael Erat. Drops for Wilson. He'll play it behind the net. Right there. Petrie whips it around the board. One keeps it in. Fisher. Blow. Finish that shot. Carries that back and goes right into the crease. That took a strange hop and ended up right in front of Nikolai Happy-Boom.
The block from really teed up, and that one got out a little bit too high on his part, but it came off the glass right into the slot. And Nikolai Happy-Boom lost it for just that 1 second in the danger zone.
Petrie turns, knocked down by Erat. Finally, Erat. Great hand-eye to keep it in. He has the puck now. He's got Fisher in front. Klein with the shot. Happy-Boom in the save. Fisher looking for the rebound, but there isn't one. As Happy-Boom covers up.
Tie game at 3.
The chances at both ends once again. Sean Horcov showing a good burst of speed. Great chip pass by Smith to send him in alone. At the last second, it's Weber that gets him on the hand just enough to make him go to the backhand, and he misses wide. And then down the other end, here's that blast. High and hard over the net, comes off, almost goes off Happy-Boom, but it goes through the 5-hole and out. And the defenseman cleared out of harm's way.
Colton Tuber ready to get back on the ice. Shot blocked by Belanger. The penalty is over. Teams are back at even strength.
3-3. Tie game.
Board on the near side.
Peckham
against Schmid.
And Anton Lender. First playoff points.
Here's Hillen with a shot that goes wide. And forces Klein back into his own zone. Hillen hammers that puck around the glass. Belanger against Tutu. Tutu right out in front for Smalling. He couldn't get the shot away. Weber not able to keep it in. And that's going to be offside. This is a chance to rejoin Gene.
Well, Kevin, Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's hockey game is Sunripe Juice.
Ladislav Schmid took a long time to score a goal. He got one in Colorado. He's first since December 5th, 2009. November 28th is an historic date in the National Hockey League. Because, Louis, you remember this.
Yeah, it was a long time. I kind of joked with Taylor Hall when he went that little stretch there where he hadn't scored in 9 games. He said, I used to get a little antsy around 60, 70 games. I'm starting to think about it.
It's a little different. Now you went top shelf, last from the point. You remember that goal?
Yeah, end to end.
Now that's it. End to end, finishing it off with a 104-mile-an-hour slap shot. Pressure now from Jared Smithson. Back to the point, the shot deflected wide. As Shooter let it go. Weber keeps it in for Craig Smith. Checked by Ryan Whitney. Whitney is stopped. Nugent Hopkins under pressure there from Halischuk. Ryan Smith with it now. He'll go cross ice for Jeff Petrie. He'll just backhand it in. He wants to get off on a change. Everly gets there first ahead of Shea Weber. Ryan Smith behind the net it goes. Shooter's got it. He'll play it along the boards. Stewart able to keep it in temporarily. Great pocket pick there by Nugent Hopkins and trying to set up Jordan Everly. He stole it from Mike Fisher. Halischuk back the other way. Halischuk center pass was off the skate. It's picked up there by Fisher. Fisher in the center. Taylor's intercepted, and here comes Hemsky. Alex Hemsky. Covered by Horcov. Lindback steers out the side. Just picked up by Kostinski. Kostinski to Fisher. Mike Fisher chips it in. With Mike Fisher. Klein. To Hiller. 13:23 to go here in a 1-1 game. 3-3 game. Ryan Jones. Pass to Belanger. Belanger across the blue line. Let's a slap shot go. Big rebound. As that hurt Anders Lindback. And Anders Lindback is down after that shot from Eric Belanger. We'll take a break as we take a look at Belanger. And he caught Lindback. Ow.
The Oilers Christmas mini pack is back just in time for the holiday season. This 2-game pack features matchups versus the LA Kings and Detroit Red Wings and comes with a Taylor Hall signature puck. On sale now, this pack is the perfect gift for any Oilers fan. Visit EdmontonOilers.com for more details.
Anders Lindback was a little shooken up after this shot from Belanger. Hits him inside the pad right on the knee. On his right leg, he went down. He stayed down for quite a while. Didn't stand up until the feeling came back in his leg, shook out the legs, and he will stay in. But Pecorino was on the ice ready to get in there. It looked like it was pretty bad. Lost some feeling. It's a sensitive area that he got hit in.
So he stays in the game, and it stays 1-1. Weber. Pass intended for Erat, doesn't make it through. Here's a chance for Wilson. Great save by Javi Bulin. Colin Wilson gets the puck back again. Wilson for Erat. Erat trying to feed Wilson in front. He was tied up by Gilbert. Javi Bulin. Another outstanding save. He has faced 27 shots so far in this game. Remember, he faced just 12 the last time these teams met here in Rexall.
He's faced about 8 point blankers that he's made saves on. Just some terrific chances in take down. And there's a little confusion on who is going to play the puck. And it sent in Wilson all alone.
2-2. Racing after it against Whitney. 2-2 from the corner back to Smith. And getting his stick in the way was Ryan Smith. 2-2 with it again. 2-2. Waited to the mid-level. He was there. Smith against Weber. Ryan Smith. Nugent Hopkins snaps a shot. Weber blocked it. Everly. It's a bunt from Craig Smith. Here's Ryan Smith. Smith back to the point. Colton Tubert throws it towards the net. And there is Lindback having to make a good save on a deflection in front. Ryan Suter picks it up. Spaulding hits the red line. He will shoot it in. Head off on a change. Abby Boulin leaves it behind the net for Colton Tuber. He and Theo Peckham are out there with Belanger, Jones, and Gagne. Tuber delivers for Belanger. Off the glass. Gagne tied up. And the puck got by Belanger. Jonathan Blum. Kostitsyn just tips it in. Abby Boulin stops it up behind the net. Around the boards. Theo Peckham, nifty little pass to Belanger. He is away with Gagne and Jones. Belanger for Jones. Ryan Jones takes a hit from Blum. Jones stays with it. Gets knocked to his knees. Gets right back up again. Belanger back to the point. Schmid there. He'll give it to Gilbert. Gilbert for Jones. Jones behind the net. Again, the battle ensues with Jonathan Blum. Belanger to Jones. Here's Gagne on the far side. The third line keeping it in. Gagne again. Off Fisher. And it went to Yossi. And then a big hit on Patrick Hornquist by Tom Gilbert. Schmid brings it in. A wrist shot off the stick of Blum and into the netting.
To help you reach your home project goals, choose the home team. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Well, a great shot from the blue line as Tuber gets it through traffic. Great hand-eye by Jordan Everly, deflecting it just off the pad, and good strong positioning on that offensive blue line by Tom Gilbert. Stands up Patrick Hornquist. When you have offensive pressure in the forward skate, the defense can be real solid and pinch and keep pucks in. And big collision on the blue line there.
Abby Boulin sweeps it around the boards. Alexchuk intercepts it. It's picked up by Petrie. Hemsky to the middle for Bjarby. Magnus Bjarby. Lost it to Klein. He plays it off the boards. Hemsky able to keep it in. Bjarby to Hemsky. Alex Hemsky to Ryan Whitney. Ryan Whitney to short. Horcov. Oh! What a play! Off the boards. Hemsky able to keep it in. Bjarby to Hemsky. Alex Hemsky to Ryan Whitney. Ryan Whitney to short. Horcov.
Horcov makes it 4-3 Edmonton.
There's Lindback reach back and somehow made the save.
There's no question that he's inside the net. I think the Oilers are trying to argue that he's over the line after this shot goes through off the defender, skate off the post, Lindback reaching back. And this is going to be one of those ones that's hard to say. The referee blew it down definitely, but a good chance created off the turnover. Quick attack by Edmonton.
Let's see if they review it when we come back.
One start. Control your music signals. Possible shoot.
This is going to be one of those ones that's hard to say. The referee blew it down definitely, but a good chance created off the turnover. Lindback reaching back. This is going to be one of those ones that's hard to say. The referee blew it down definitely, but a good shot. This is going to be one of those ones that's hard to say. The referee blew it down definitely. This is going to be... Definitely, but a good chance created off the turnover. Quick attack by Edmonton.
Let's see if they review it.
Wyshynski, Sportsnet's Jeff Merrick, and Yahoo Sports' Greg Wyshynski talk hockey weekdays at noon. Listen or download at sportsnet.ca.
Well, it didn't look that like they were going to review this one, but it looks like they are going to. A little checking to see exactly what happened on that last play. And it was one of those ones that's so tough, but it was right around the goal mouth on the line. And as Lindback goes back and lays down, he gets shoved in. by the forward momentum of everybody crashing into the net. Malashevsky was right in there, and they felt that it had crossed the line. And one of those ones that's pretty hard to tell with all the bodies down in front. They'll take a look at it from different angles to try and decipher whether or not it did indeed cross the line.
It comes with 9:35 to go here in the third period. The Oilers opened the scoring at 7:07. Nashville tied it 11:34. Power play in the second period. And it looks like the decision is coming right now.
To go back 3-0 down.
No goal. They stay at 1-1.
It was a 4-2 hockey game.
Leguan wins the draw. Lay it to the corner.
YouTube video player group. Thank you, Butcher. Okay, buddy. YouTube video player.
The Oilers
John lines up against David Leguan. Leguan wins the draw. Back to Weber. He'll play it to the corner. Suter for Wilson. To Leguan. David for Wilson. The Nashville Predators at Rexall Country. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Telus Oilers Hockey. Belarsic and Ryan Jones. So Gagne and Eberle switch spots. Works over Alishchuk. Jones circles behind his own net. We'll get it for Everett. Stick up on Jordan 2-2. Hit the backhand. Bibulda. The block generally.
1 hour 15 minutes. 1 hour 15 minutes.
28 is a job. Backhanded in. Alishchuk. Mike Fisher. Belarsic.
And for quite a while, awesome feeling. It's a sensitive area that he got hit in. Schubert.
1 hour 22. 1 hour 22 minutes.
He brings it in.
This shot goes through.
It's Jeff Merrick and Yahoo Sports.
For Wilson.
YouTube video player.
To Leguan. David Leguan. A wrist shot. A big rebound. It comes to Martin Erat. That's intercepted by Hensky. As his pocket picked by Leguan, but he recovers. And gets it down into Nashville territory. A race for the puck now. Tom Gilbert, the angle on Wilson. And he will get the touch. Gino.
Well, something to give away, Kevin. Tonight's Safeway $1 Million Score and Win Grand Prize winner will receive a 52-inch Sharp Atmos TV with Quatron technology. Tonight's Grand Prize winner is Nadine Lacroix of Grand Prairie. Congratulations, Nadine. Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today, and you could be our next lucky winner.
Start of a 6-game homestand for the Oilers. They'll play Minnesota on Wednesday, and then Columbus Friday will have that game for you against the Blue Jackets. The first meeting between the Blue Jackets and the Oilers. This is the third meeting between Nashville and Edmonton. The Oilers have won the first two. They won't hook up again until March 20th. That game will be in Nashville. Theo Becker to Jordan Eberle. He'll chip it in. Ryan Smith will chase. Gets it to Nugent Hopkins. He gets checked. Ryan Suter back the other way. Flipped in by Hornquist. Bibulda to Theo Becker. Becker to Smith. Looking for Eberle. Cut out there by Fisher. Klein tries to return the favor for Fisher, but there was Smith. They get it to Nugent Hopkins. Now to Eberle. Off skates. And it ends up on the stick of Sergei Kostichin with Hornquist in front. Hornquist just out of his reach. Smith. They'll play it to Petrie. Now Gagne. Jones, and ends up going behind him. Jones racing for it. Negates the icing of Hustle. Ryan Jones backs it in front. It is Jones, Belanger, centered it, picked off by Smith. Craig Smith with the backhand, stopped by Abby Bullen. Now another opportunity and a goal, this time by Nick Spaulding. By pushing it to Gagne. Gagne centered it, picked off by Smith. Craig
by
Smith
Ryan
with the backhand,
Smith.
stopped by Abby Bullen. Now another
Sam
opportunity and a goal, this time by Nick Spaulding.
Sam Gagne. Another 19 other. It's 5-3 Edmonton.
Let's go present.
It is a lead for the Predators, their first in this game. It is a lead for the Predators, their first in this
11th
game.
goal in the playoff. And we have 3 goals scored in the third.
Another aggressive forecheck by Nashville. The full possession by Edmonton. Sam Gagne will get the puck on the wall, throws it to the middle. It's a turnover, and it looks like it's still okay, but a great pass from the corner, tape to tape by Tutu. Out to Spaulding, who just drifts out to the high slot. He zings it under the bar, actually off the crossbar, to give the Nashville Predators a 2-1 lead. So a turnover in the defensive zone once again. Leads to a great chance, only this time the Nashville Predators execute well.
Spaulding hasn't gotten a goal in these last 3 games. He's given his team the lead at 12-21. Jordan Tutu and Craig Smith will get the assists.
Taking a look at it here and again, just a little confusion down low. Everyone puck watching. Once it does turn over, you expect it to be out of the zone. Next thing you know, you're under attack. And a great shot by Nick Spaulding. Once he got that one in the high slot, he didn't make any mistake about it from there, under the bar.
Nashville keep the pressure on. Iraq throws it towards the net. Abby Bullen got a piece of it. 7:07 to go here in the third period. Jordan Tutu now has 5 points in his last 4 games.
Scored in the third period.
Back. The shooter will kick it back to Lindback. Alashevsky. Sean Horcov. Magnus PRB up front. Gilbert and Schmid on the blue line. Sillen content to save his behind the net. Kostitsa with Hornquist. Patrick Hornquist. Schmid. And hit Hornquist. Behind the net, Gilbert. Can't get it out, Weber. They'll lay it right behind the net again. Hornquist is there. He'll push it to the corner. Gilbert takes his time, feeds it up the middle for Horcov. He'll chip it down into Nashville territory. Jay Weber to Hornquist. Nashville making a change. Petrie with it now. Pass for Hemsky. Tempted by Gilbert, didn't work. Now the race is on. Gilbert against Legwine. Tom Gilbert fights him off. Tom gives it forward.
And
Sean Horcov and Jordan Everly managed to get the puck out to center. Wilson. Iraq, give and go. Wilson with the puck now to Legwine. Legwine back to the point it comes. Hillen. Legwine for Iraq. That didn't work. And Petrie's got it. Ryan Smith can't get by David Legwine. This line keeping the Oilers pinned up in their own zone. They'll try and get a change, and the Oilers will get it. Everly with it now. Everly, Hopkins and Smith. Ryan Smith, Nugent Hopkins in the corner. Jordan Tutu. Right up the middle, intended for Smith on the Abby Bullen. He'll give it to Whitney. Whitney off the boards. Jones hops over the bench, picks up the puck. Ian Everly, that's right in front of the Oilers bench. Jones finally gets it and dribbles it right onto Lindback. 31-17. The shots favor the Nashville Brothers with under 5 minutes to go here in the third period.
Game 3-2. Sorry. 5-3.
Jordan 2-2. He'll be content just to flip it into the opposite corner as the Nashville Predators make a change.
Look for a third. Patrick in the play.
Back. Yossi. Roman Yossi trying to get it to Erat. Checked by Peckham. Now it comes to Halischuk. Matt Halischuk with Jared Smithson. Halischuk cutting to the net. Nice play by Fulton Tubert. Tubert. And turned it over to Erat. Back to the point it comes. Yossi throws it around the boards. Waiting for it there is Schmidt. Leo Peckham will have time to get it out. Peckham to Gagne. Sam Gagne flips it in. Horcov going after it. Against Blum. Takes it hard into the boards. Yossi against Piarvi. Magnus Piarvi. Trying to work that puck free. It does. He'll get it to Alish Hemsky. Hemsky under pressure from Smithson. Hemsky gets checked. But Horcov throws it towards the net. And that puck gets deflected up into the net. 3:44 to go here in the third. Tellers, Oilers 5-3 on the net. 3:44 to go here in the third. Tellers, Oilers hockey on the net. 3:44 to go here in the third. Tellers, Oilers hockey.
Outstanding results brought to you by Remax, the right agent for today's market. And the right player to get the Edmonton Oilers on the scoreboard in this hockey game was Jordan Eberle. If at first you don't succeed, try again, and he does. But Jordan Eberle gets his 8th of the season and opens the scoring this evening for Edmonton against Nashville.
And don't forget, coming up after the game, we'll get you connected with Ryan Leslie and Ken Reed. All the day's news and action, including coaching changes in the National Hockey League in Washington and Carolina. Right now, 3:44 to go here in the in Washington and Carolina. Right now, 3:44 to go here in the third period. The Oilers down by 1. Gilbert lost it. Hornquist chops it out. Now Gilbert recovers. Gilbert will give it to his D partner, Vladislav Schmid. Schmid to Gilbert. Horcov. Pass for Piarvi was behind him. Comes to Klein. They'll give it to Hillen. Hillen. Fisher gets it out to center. Kostitsin sends it down the ice, and then he's going to hit off. Vladislav Schmid. Jeff Petrie. Eberle. Smith. Nugent Hopkins up front right now. Eberle against Erat. Nugent Hopkins in there to try and get that puck free as time ticks down. We're now under 3 minutes to go. Pass for Wilson too far. Whitney. Suter. Pass for Wilson. Got leg one heading to the net. Erat couldn't handle that pass. Eberle back the other way. Checked by Wilson. Jeff Petrie will pick it up. He'll give it to Ryan Smith. Smith down the right side. Here is Ryan Smith cutting to the middle. He gets surrounded. Jordan 2-2 against Fulton Tubert. Gets there first and bounces it down into Oiler territory. Theo Peckham. Sam Gagne. Gagne leads the rush for Edmonton. Pass intended for Jones. Jones takes a hit from Hillen. Sharp angle shot by Gagne. The puck goes straight up into the air. And
go ahead. And that played. So the last time these teams met.
Line switching around the boards for Erat. Erat gets double teamed there by Whitney and Belanger. Gagne. Belanger and Jones up front. 1:50 to go. Gilbert. Slap pass on the screen of leg one and comes right to Erat. Erat drops for Wilson. Wilson hard pass intended for leg one was behind him. Jones will pick it up on the near side. He'll give it to Gilbert. Sam Gagne flips it right on to Lindback, and with Jones right there, he decides to hang on Gilbert.
YouTube video player group.
Sam Gagne to Ryan Smith. Flips it right on the Lindback, and with Jones right there.
minute and 9 seconds left to go in the third.
Just 9 seconds on it.
Well, Ryan Jones and the rest of the Edmonton Oilers can get themselves comfortable at home. 6 games over the course of 12 days. And the third game of that homestand will be right here. Part of TELUS Oilers Hockey. Columbus is in town on Friday. Start time, 7 p.m. Mountain.
1:26 to go here in the third period. The Edmonton Oilers have taken a timeout.
There's no question Nikolai Hadron's going to be looking to get to the bench as soon as possible, get the extra.
1:26 to go here. Sean Horcov in the third period. The Edmonton Oilers have taken
7 p.m. Mountain.
Ryan Smith.
1:26 to go here in the third period. The
Hopkins.
Edmonton Oilers have taken a timeout.
Horcov.
There's no question Nikolai Hadron's going to be looking to get to the first. You have to credit the Nashville Predators. They've been excellent on the forecheck. Their backtracking has been great all over the ice for that matter. They've been pretty disciplined and very aggressive in the forecheck. And, you know, Ryan Suter talked about it best, the Nashville way of playing hockey. This is a competitive team every year. Barry Trotz puts on the ice. They have to play fast, aggressive.
November of the years, he has gotten his team 6 attackers. A minute 26 on the clock. From the faceoff, Horcov wins it. Back to the point. Ryan Whitney for Jordan Everett. Everett against Fisher. Takes him hard into the boards. Out on the other side, a race for it. Whitney pitching against Smalling. The puck goes straight up into the air. It's still alive. Hemsky behind the net. It's tied by Weber. Suter shoots it around the boards, and that puck goes out of play and was tipped off the glass and into the seats.
Ryan Smith along the wall was trying to take away that opportunity, but obviously missed him one off the glass and out of the zone, so the faceoff will stay to the left of Anders Lindback. Good faceoff win by Sean Horcov to start things off. A timeout being called here again by Nashville to settle things down. Good pressure in the offensive zone, and the chance wasn't created, but yeah,
Next Tuesday, and they are 2 again. Everly pick a scramble pick from the faceoff. A scramble picked up by Suter. He'll send it down the ice with less than a minute to go. Jordan Everly picks up the puck. Everly for Smith. He'll tip it in. Reach for it. Horcov against Suter. Everly's got the puck to Smith. Smith all the way up top for Whitney. Whitney to the captain. Horcov to Everly. Gets him to settle down. Now we'll give it to Ales Hemsky. Ales Hemsky, 39 seconds to go. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to Horcov. Sean Horcov. Nugent-Hopkins. Right through to the near side. Whitney is there. Smith behind the net. Hemsky sees it go by him. Horcov will get it to Smith. Smith back to Hemsky. Ales Hemsky lets the shot go. Blocked by Fisher. He was waiting in the shot. Fisher's stick is broken.
Here's Horcov for the hat trick.
15.1 seconds to go.
Horcov! The Oilers in their reigning hats. The Oilers scored a goal with 14.8 seconds left in the third period. It's 7-3.
Next Butcher.
And I'm not too sure why that was whistled down. It might have been a hand pass as this blast gets up high. Great chance here for Hemsky to get it through the shot block. One time by Whitney.
6 slider at 1 hour 40 minutes 54 seconds at 1 hour 43 minutes 31 seconds. 1 hour 40 minutes 57 seconds at 1 hour 43 minutes 31 seconds.
Hold on to it as he took a couple of whacks from Ryan Smith. But good puck pursuit, good puck pressure. Creates the chance that Edmonton was looking for. A terrific block on that shot by Hemsky. Who's nice getting to the net.
Again, Everly.
Discipline right there. That's what it was. It was held in by Ryan Suter. Great job by him to stay disciplined. Hold on to.
Last keyboard short. Play keyboard short. 35.
Everly. And then there was another goal.
30 volume.
And now it's 8-3. And with 9 seconds left to go in the hockey game.
Last keyboard short.
Whitney is there. And a shot.
I'm not too sure why that was whistled down. It might have been a hand pass as this blast gets up high. Great chance here for Hemsky to get it through. The shot block, one-timer by Whitney. And right there, that's what it was. It was held in by Ryan Suter. Great job by him to stay disciplined, hold on to it as he took a couple of whacks from Ryan Smith. But good puck pursuit, good puck pressure. Creates the chance that Edmonton was looking for. Good job by him to stay disciplined, hold on to it as he took a couple of whacks from Ryan Smith. But good puck pursuit, good puck pressure. Creates the chance that Edmonton was looking for. A terrific block on that shot by Hemsky, who's nice getting to the net. Again, Everly's terrific block on that shot by Hemsky, who's nice getting to the net. Again, to stay disciplined, hold on to it as he took a couple of whacks from Ryan Smith. The good puck pursuit, good puck pressure creates the chance that Edmonton was looking for. A terrific block on that shot by creates the chance that Edmonton was looking for. A terrific block on that shot by Hemsky, who's nice getting to the net. Again, Everly's shot doesn't make it through. Hemsky creates the chance that Edmonton was looking for. A terrific block on that shot by Hemsky, who's nice getting to the net. Good puck pursuit, good puck pressure creates the chance that Edmonton was looking for. A terrific block on that shot by Hemsky, who's nice getting to the net. Again, Everly's shot doesn't make it through. Hemsky, who's nice getting to the net. Again, Everly's shot doesn't make it through. Time has run out on the Edmonton Oilers. And the Nashville Predators snap a 4-game losing streak. And Anders Lindback.
The final score, Oilers 8, Predators 3.
Wins his first game of the year
85 volume per page.
by stopping 17 Oilers shots.
Definitely not enough for Edmonton, but you have to give credit to Nashville. They came out with a plan early on, and even though they got down by a goal, the first time all year they've come back after losing after the first period, had a much better second period, which they outshot Edmonton 16-7, carried it over to the third period.
10 volume per
They were
page.
the hungrier team for the final 40 minutes of this game, and they pulled it out first goal for Anders Lindback.
6-goal third period.
And a big one to
And that'll-
stop that
that'll do
4-game
it.
losing streak that they were on.
8-3
Lucky
is the
13,
final.
Nick Spaulding has the winning goal in the third period. The Predators beat Nick Spaulding
Sean Horcov
has the winning goal in the third period.
and 1 goal.
Lucky 13, Nick Spaulding
And
has the
Garnier
winning
with
goal
2
in the
goals and
third.
1 assist.
Lucky 13, Nick
And finally,
Spaulding has
Horcov
the winning goal
with
in
4
the third
points.
period. The Predators beat the Oilers
The
2-1
Oilers
for the
beat the
first time
Predators
this
and tied the series
YouTube
1
video player
games to
group.
1.
season as we to Gene for our 3 stars.
3 stars brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada. It is Ryan Suter, who is our number 1 star this evening. Got an assist on the Shea Canada. It is Ryan Suter, who is our number 1 star this evening. Got an assist on the Shea Weber goal. It is Ryan Suter, who is our number 1 star this evening. Got an assist on the Shea Weber goal. As usual, heavy a lot of ice time
And an
for the Nashville Predators. It was a
hockey
strong
game
effort on the part of
on the
Nikolai
hat-trick
Hamilton, despite the fact he was the losing
from
goaltender. He is the number
number
2
10,
star, and it is
Sean Horcov.
Jordan Tutu with a point, but also the fact that he is the number 2 star, and it is
Oilers with a
Jordan
comeback.
Tutu with a point, but also the fact that we
unanswered
started to mix up in period 2 to make a difference.
Make a
As we
difference.
round out our first, second, and
star.
third star this evening.
Tell us, Oiler.
Husky Ford shirt that gave Button
Sportsnet. Brought to you by TELUS, the future is friendly. By Molson Canadian, made from Canada. By Ford, drive one. By the Rexall family of pharmacies. By ATB Financial, proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers. And by Synovus Energy, new ideas, new approaches.
Rexall Place.